Welcome to Wealth Hustle 247 podcast, your trusted guide to financial literacy, business innovation, and entrepreneurial success. Learn how to grow your wealth, make informed decisions, and turn your ideas into profitable ventures.
In this AI-generated podcast, learn how to think big and start smart when exploring franchise opportunities. Discover key insights, strategies, and common pitfalls to avoid as you navigate franchise deals and build a foundation for lasting business success.
You know, the idea of owning a business, but with a name people already recognize and a system all laid out, it's really appealing.
It definitely is.
Especially for you, the learner. If you're keen to get up to speed quickly, franchising can seem like a really powerful way in.
Yeah, it can be.
So today we're doing a deep dive into figuring out franchise deals, kind of navigating the tricky part.
Exactly. We're pulling insights from Think Big, Start Smart, navigating franchise deals for lasting success.
Right.
And the idea is to really extract the essentials, to help you understand what actually leads to success in franchising. It's definitely more than just picking a famous name.
Much more than just the logo, yeah. It's about strategy, making smart choices.
That's it.
Our mission today is to grab those key nuggets, the really important bits from these sources, to help you see the path from just having an idea to actually building something sustainable.
A clear pathway.
So where do we even begin to understand this whole franchising concept?
Okay, let's break it down. At its core, franchising is basically a license.
A license.
Yeah, the main business that the franchisor gives you, the franchise, the right to run a business using their brand name and their methods, their system.
Okay, so I get permission to run my own shop, but it looks and feels like theirs.
That's the gist. And there are mainly two types you'll see. First, product distribution franchises.
Okay.
Think about car dealerships or maybe gas stations. They're focused on selling products made by someone else. The product is the main connection.
Right. Their job is getting that specific product out there.
Then you've got the business format franchise. This is more involved. It's not just the product or service. It's the whole package.
The whole package.
Yeah. The brand name, how they do marketing, the operational systems, customer service, everything. The entire playbook. Most restaurants or service places, they're usually this type.
That makes it clearer. So if you're looking at that business format type, what are the big draws? Why do people go for it?
Well, the pluses can be pretty big. First off, brand recognition. It's huge. It can save you years compared to building a name from nothing.
Huge head start.
Definitely.
Yep.
And you usually get solid training right at the start, plus ongoing help from the franchisor. They give you business systems that are already proven to work.
So you're not guessing.
Right. You're not reinventing the wheel. And they often chip in with marketing support, too, helping bring customers in.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
There have to be downsides, right? What are the main challenges you need to watch out for?
Oh, for sure. There are definitely things to weigh up. The initial cost, the investment can be really high. You've got franchise fees, setup costs.
A lot up front.
Yeah. And then there are ongoing royalty payments, usually a slice of your revenue that goes back to the franchisor.
Okay.
Another thing is you don't have much wiggle room operationally. You have to follow their rules, their systems. Less freedom to try your own thing.
Right. Strict compliance.
It's a core part of the deal. You're buying into their way of doing things.
So you get the benefits, but also the constraints. Can you give us a big example of how that standardization works in practice?
Sure, think McDonald's. Ray Kroc was brilliant at this, making everything super standardized.
Right.
Order a Big Mac in, say, London or Lagos. The experience is pretty much identical. That consistency. Yep. It builds trust, and it's key to how they scaled globally.
That makes total sense. Consistency builds confidence. Did the sources give any real-world examples, maybe where a franchisee had to navigate challenges within that structure?
Absolutely. There's a Nigerian case study, Chicken Republic. Deji Adebayo, at his outlet in Ikeja, ran into some operational issues.
Okay.
But by really focusing on efficiency, sticking to the brand's core principles, while probably tweaking things slightly for the local market, he turned it into a top performer.
Interesting.
It shows that even with a set system, good, adaptable management by the franchisee is really vital.
That's a great point, making the system work locally. Now, the book really hammers home doing some self-reflection before you even start looking at franchises.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that step so critical?
It's absolutely fundamental. You really need to know yourself. What are your interests? What are you good at? Are you actually passionate about the kind of work this franchise involves?
Yeah.
Does your personality fit with running this type of business day in, day out? And then there's the money side. A hard look at your finances. Can you actually afford the upfront cost and the ongoing fees?
Really practical, essential questions. What else should you be asking yourself?
Lifestyle goals. Super important. What kind of work-life balance are you after? Some franchises demand way more hands-on time than others.
True.
And finally, your long-term vision.
Yeah.
Where do you want this to take you 5, 10 years down the line?
Yeah.
What are your bigger goals for growth, for personal satisfaction?
So it's not just about the potential profit, it's about fitting the business into your whole life.
Exactly. And to make those big ideas more concrete, the book talks about SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
Right.
It's a way to structure things, turn those broad hopes into actual steps you can take for your franchise.
Can you give an example of how someone used that, like a SMART goal in action?
Okay, think about Sheila Adams, the Kumon franchise owner mentioned. Her passion for education, that's specific and relevant.
Got it.
Maybe her goal was enrolling X number of students or hitting a certain revenue target within, say, 3 years. That's measurable, achievable, and time-bound. She aligned her passion with a relevant franchise and set clear targets.
That really clarifies it. And we had a Nigerian example too, right? Linked to this idea.
Yes, Lola Owolabi with House of Tara. Her background in beauty and education wasn't just a passing interest. She leveraged that deep knowledge.
Okay.
Her goal wasn't just to open a shop. It was to build a regional training hub. Very specific, quite ambitious. By matching her skills to the franchise, she grew well beyond just a single outlet.
Okay, so you've done the internal work. Now you're looking outward, right? Researching, finding potential franchises. Where should someone even start looking?
Good question. There are a few key places. Online franchise directories are useful for just seeing what's out there across different sectors.
Just getting a lay of the land.
Exactly. Then you have franchise expos or trade shows. Great for meeting franchisors directly, asking questions, getting a feel for things.
Face-to-face contact.
Yeah. Franchise consultants or brokers can help too, guide you through it all, but you need to check them out properly first. And honestly, don't ignore online reviews and social media. Real feedback from franchisees and customers can be gold.
That sounds like a lot of digging. Once you've got a short list, how do you really dive deep? How do you know if it's truly a good match?
That's where due diligence comes in. Seriously thorough investigation.
Okay.
You need to look at market demand. Is there actually a need for this product or service? Where do you want to open? What's the competition like?
Right.
What's the brand's reputation? How long has the franchisor been around? What's their track record with supporting their franchisees?
And I guess that franchise disclosure document, the FDD, is key here.
Oh, absolutely critical. Probably the most important piece of paper you'll read. It's legally required.
What's in it?
Loads. The franchisor's financial health, all the fees and costs involved, what they promise to do, what you have to do, and crucially, contact details for current and former franchisees.
So you can talk to people who've actually done it.
Exactly. That's invaluable. Getting their real-world take, the stuff that's not in the official brochure, it gives you the inside scoop.
Like getting the unvarnished truth. Were there any examples in the sources showing how good research paid off?
Yeah, the Anytime Fitness story in Singapore, Jack Lee spotted a gap, not 247 gyms.
Okay.
His research showed people wanted it. So he picked Anytime Fitness, whose whole model is 2047 access, and boom, he expanded rapidly because he filled that specific need.
Finding that niche was key. And the Nigerian example.
Emmanuel Okarko, bringing Mega Chicken to Anambra.
Yeah.
Same principle. He must have researched and seen a strong demand for that kind of fast food restaurant in that area before he committed. It's all about making sure customers are actually there and waiting for what you plan to offer.
Makes sense. Okay, research done. Promising opportunity found. Now for the maybe less glamorous part. The money and the legal stuff. What are the main financial bits to get your head around?
Right, you need to break down the cost. First, the initial franchise fee. That's your entry ticket, basically.
Okay.
Then all the startup costs, finding a place, fitting it out, buying equipment, initial stock. It adds up.
Yeah, I bet.
Don't forget ongoing fees of those royalties we mentioned, plus maybe marketing fund contributions, and critically, working capital.
Working capital.
Yeah, cash to cover your day-to-day running costs, rent, payroll, supplies, for those first few months before the business is making enough to pay its own way. You need a buffer.
That's a lot to manage financially. How do people usually fund these things?
It's often a mix. Personal savings usually play a big part. Bank loans are very common. Sometimes, especially for bigger deals, you might look for angel investors. And occasionally, the franchisor might offer some kind of financing option.
Sounds like you need a really solid financial plan before you sign anything. And then the legal side.
Hugely important. We talk about the FDD, you need to understand that inside out.
Yeah.
But just as vital, get a franchise lawyer.
Specialized lawyer.
Yeah, someone who knows franchise law specifically.
Mm-hmm.
They can decode the legal jargon in the FDD, explain your rights and responsibilities, spot any red flags or unfair terms.
Okay.
And you need to really focus on key clauses in the actual franchise agreement. Things like territory protection, you get an exclusive area.
Mm-hmm.
And the exit clauses, how do you get out if you need to? What are the conditions?
Yeah, territory and exit strategy, stuff you definitely don't want to just gloss over. Any case studies touch on the money planning side?
The Subway one with Rachel and Ben did. They apparently hit some early financial bumps, miscalculated costs.
Oops.
But they're proactive, got an SBA loan, adjusted their plan, and managed to get through it. Shows you need to be ready to adapt, maybe have a plan B.
Being flexible with the finances. What about the Nigerian examples?
Uche Ebe with the Slot Nigeria Tech kiosk is interesting. He used a microloan, so smaller scale funding, combined with Slot's existing templates and systems, and apparently got profitable quite quickly.
So a strong model can work even with less initial capital sometimes?
It suggests that, yeah.
Okay, research done, finances look okay, legal understood. Now, the actual negotiation. Is the franchise agreement typically set in stone, or can you actually negotiate parts of it?
That's a good question. While a lot of it is standardized, they need consistency across the brand. There can be some wiggle room.
Like what?
Well, maybe the specifics of the training support. Sometimes territory exclusivity might be discussable depending on the market. Even the initial fee or maybe royalty terms could potentially have some flexibility, though that's less common. It often depends on your background and business plan.
Okay, so it doesn't hurt to ask, basically. Any tips for going into those talks?
Definitely stay professional, be respectful, clearly state what you're asking for and why. Get everything in writing, any changes, any agreements, get them documented. Absolutely. And bring your lawyer and financial advisor into it. Their expertise during the negotiation can be invaluable, help you avoid traps.
Having those experts in your corner sounds smart. Any examples of successful negotiation?
Derek Chang with Massage Envy. He apparently negotiated for extra marketing help for his specific location.
Oh, interesting.
And he also got them to delay the start of his royalty payments, probably to help with cash flow right at the beginning.
That kind of tailored support could make a real difference early on. Anything from Nigeria?
There was a mention, not a full case study, but a Sweet Sensation franchisee tried using seasonal sales data to argue for more flexible payment terms.
Using data.
Yeah, it shows that proactive approach, trying to make the agreement fit the reality of the business cycle.
Right. Okay. You've negotiated, signed on the dotted line. Now the fun part, or maybe the hard part, launching and running the thing. What's on that pre-opening checklist?
Okay, key things. Nail down your location, get all the permits and licenses sorted. That can take time. Yep. Then hire your team and train them thoroughly according to the franchisor standards. Develop your local marketing plan your grand opening to make a splash.
Get some buzz going.
Exactly. And, crucially, go to all the training the franchisor provides. You need to really absorb their systems.
So building it block by block, but using their blueprint. Once you're open day to day, what's the main focus?
Customer service has to be top priority. Always. Stick to the franchisor's systems that maintains the brand promise and efficiency.
Okay.
Keep a close eye on your key performance indicators, your KPIs, know your numbers. That tells you what's working, what's not, and maintain tight financial control. Manage your costs, watch your revenue. Discipline is key.
Stick to the plan, watch the numbers, keep customers happy. Makes sense. What about marketing once you're running? How do you keep customers coming?
Getting involved locally is usually great. Sponsor a local team, partner with other businesses nearby. Digital marketing is huge now too. Local SEO, social media.
Gotta be online.
Definitely. And seasonal campaigns can work really well. Back to school sales, holiday promotions, that kind of thing.
Connect locally, use digital tools, time your pushes.
Got it. Any examples of strong launches or operations?
Kevin Joseph at Chick-fil-A. His success was linked to really consistent, high-quality service training and focusing on performance. Chick-fil-A is known for service, right?
Absolutely.
He clearly delivered on that promise.
That focus pays off. And in Nigeria,
Omounmi Adeyemi is a rough and tumble franchise. They ran a really effective back-to-school campaign.
Seasonal marketing again.
Yeah, and it gave them a big boost in local visibility and sales. Shows how targeted campaigns can really move the needle.
Okay, so your first franchise is running well. What's next for someone ambitious? Can you grow beyond just one unit?
Definitely. For successful franchisees, multi-unit ownership is often the next step, getting the rights to open more locations.
Okay.
But you need to have your systems really nailed down in your first place, scalable systems. And you need the bandwidth to manage more complexity. Prove you can handle one before taking on more. Makes sense. What else helps with scaling up?
Constant performance tracking. Using analytics to see what's really driving success, where the bottlenecks are, getting feedback from customers, from staff, and actually using it.
Listening and learning.
Yeah. And many systems, franchise advisory councils are important. They're a way for franchisees to talk to each other and the franchisor, share ideas, even influence policy.
Yeah.
Gives you a voice.
A collective voice. That sounds useful. Any examples of people who did the multi-unit thing well?
Adnan Rafiq with Domino's went from 1 store to 8.
Wow.
Apparently used data really effectively, understood his local markets, optimized operations across all the units, smart scaling.
Using data for growth. And the Nigerian example.
Oluchi Nwachukwu with Cold Stone Creamery. She managed to really grow the brand's presence across her locations, got wider recognition, shows successful multi-unit brand building.
Cool. Of course, it's not always smooth sailing. What are some common bumps in the road, challenges franchisees often hit?
Yeah, pitfalls exist. Underestimating costs, either startup or ongoing. That's a big one. Picking the wrong location can be crippling.
Location, location, location.
Still true. Staffing can be a nightmare. Finding good people, keeping them. And sometimes, unfortunately, you get conflicts with the franchisor over rules or support.
Those sound like they could sink a business. How can you try to avoid them, or at least manage them?
Having an emergency fund is crucial. A financial cushion for unexpected hits. Investing in good, ongoing training for your staff can help with retention and service.
Right.
Keeping communication lines with the franchisor open and transparent is key. Address issues early, don't let them fester. And regular financial checkups. Really know your numbers. Stay on top of costs.
Being proactive seems vital. Any stories of franchisees overcoming these hurdles?
Meena Patel, the 7-Eleven owner. She faced staffing shortages, which is common.
Yeah.
Her solution was creative. Flexible scheduling, incentives, adapting to the local job market.
Smart adaptation. And in Nigeria.
Bola Fashola at Tantalizers. High staff turnover was the issue. She tackled it by building relationships with local vocational schools.
Creating a talent pipeline.
Exactly. And building community ties at the same time.
Okay, so let's say you've built a successful business, navigated the challenges. Eventually, you might want to move on. What are the options? How do you plan an exit?
Several routes. You could sell the franchise to someone else, assuming your agreement allows it.
A third-party sale.
Right. Or, especially in family businesses, you might transfer ownership to kids or other relatives. That needs careful planning. Sometimes maybe a partnership or merging with another franchisee could work.
And thinking about the legacy, making sure the business continues after you, what's involved there.
Documenting everything. Your specific ways of doing things, your best practices beyond just the standard franchise manual, that helps the next person.
Passing on the knowledge.
Absolutely. And comprehensive training for your successor is vital. If it's family, you also need a solid wealth transfer plan sorted out. Protects them and the business.
So, ensuring a smooth handover for continued success. Any examples of successful exits or transitions?
Linda Morales with the UPS store. She successfully passed her store on to her daughter. It involved structured planning, probably mentoring.
A planned succession.
Exactly.
And the Nigerian one.
Io Belagoon and Booksville Bookshop is quite interesting.
Yeah.
He actually franchised his own existing business first, then later transferred ownership to his children. A multi-step legacy plan.
Wow, that's quite a journey. From idea to launch to growth, challenges, and even planning the future beyond yourself.
It really can be. Franchising is definitely a powerful route to owning a business. But as we talked about, it demands you're thoughtful, you do your homework, you're informed every step of the way.
Yeah.
It's that mix of thinking big about the possibilities, but also starting smart, planning carefully, researching thoroughly, executing consistently.
That sums it up well. So for you, the learner, if franchising sounds interesting, take that time. Explore opportunities that genuinely connect with your passions, your skills, and importantly, your life goals.
Absolutely. And always keep in mind that balance. You're getting the power of a known brand and proven system, which is great.
Yeah.
But your drive, your entrepreneurial spirit, how you actually run things day to day in your market, that's what really makes the difference.
Yeah.
That's it for today's episode of Wealth Hustle 247. Be sure to follow, like, comment, and share with others. Keep pushing toward your goals, and we'll see you in the next episode.